What's up, everyone? How's it going? This is Colby Cheese, and I'm going to do a little bit of a different style of pro game commentary today. Instead, I'm actually going to be focusing on just one player in the game. And this one particular, I joined up when has TiensiNoAkuma, who is great on Katarina, as most of you probably know. And if some of you don't know, he's probably one of the better Katarinas in the game. Super high elo. Vitine, not currently ranked #1, but was for a really long time. I think he's like in the top 10 or something like that right now. So this is like pretty much the highest of the high elo games that you're ever going to be able to see. And I think it should be a pretty exciting match to watch nonetheless. So I'm going to just sit here and focus on TNC and just watch how he plays. He's going to be, let's see, who is he against? He's going to be against, I guess, a Teemo mid, which is interesting. That's a little bit different than I would expect to see. However, it should be interesting to watch that work out because Teemo is quite annoying, can do a lot of damage in a short amount of time, but he's going to have to deal with the fact that Tienzi can blink all over the place and put out a giant amount of burst. He doesn't have any way to stun her or shut her down from doing her ultimate, so that's going to be a problem. Now, in team fights, they do have Singed to flip as well as a stun from Tarek to help out, but other than that, oh, and I guess the kick from Vitine, so we're going to have to see if that works out, if they're able to shut her down, or if he's going to just run all over the map and tear everybody apart. Now, when I've seen TNC play before, he's really, really strong at roaming around the map and getting kills all over the place. So let's see if that's what he decides to do. And, okay, pretty standard start. He went for a boots and 3 health potions. I've actually been playing a lot of Katarina myself lately, and I think she's a really fun champion. After they made all of the changes to her, she's just so much stronger now. It's very easy for you to farm on her, and pretty much the skill build that you go is you'll max your Q and then your W and then your E last, and that gives you the best poking in the lane, and you can start to kind of wear down those creeps fairly quick. It's not too difficult to let me take this off of directed camera. Anyways, it's not too difficult to farm with Katarina against champions with a lot of poke because of the fact that you can just throw out your bouncing blades and they pick up a lot of last hits for you. So you'll see that he's not actually going to run in here and auto attack these creeps down. He's actually going to sit in the back and use those bouncing blades to last hit, rather than taking too much poke from this Teemo, because if he were to go up there and auto-attack that creep right there, then Teemo would attack him 2-3 times and get him really low, and he needs to stay as high HP as possible early game until he gets strong enough to actually be able to return poke onto this Teemo. And you'll notice he actually took his Shunpo as his second ability, and most likely that is because he doesn't want to be susceptible to ganks early on. If he does get ganked, he can blink backwards. Also, if someone does gank for him, he can actually blink to that Teemo. You know, so in some cases, you might want to take your W second just to try and do a little bit of harass and stuff, but he's playing it safe by getting that Shunpo as his second ability. He knows that he's not going to do a lot of damage, but you get leveled up so fast that it's not a big deal, and it's a lot safer. So he's probably going to lose out on a lot of farm in comparison to the Teemo early on. He's not actually really far behind or anything, if you notice. He's only a few, but that's just because, like I said, it's really easy for him to farm with that bouncing blades in comparison. So you'll notice he's doing a really good job of actually watching that creep health. And one thing about Katarina is she does not do a lot of damage at all early game with her W at level 1, so it's kind of hard to last hit minions with it, since it only does, let's see, like yeah, it only does a little more than 40 damage, and that's less than an auto attack, so you have to be really good at watching the HP. And here comes a gank from the Singe, who's actually jungle. I wasn't expecting the Singe to be jungle, but yeah, it's a jungle Singe, and I don't know what's going on here. This, like, they're just standing here looking at each other. That's the most awkward situation I've ever seen. Okay. He was just like, I don't want to touch you. He wanted to flip TNC. He didn't want to mess with This new okay, now they're just like trolling here in the middle of the map in the river, dancing with each other. I think they both realize, okay, well we can't kill each other, but we're just gonna troll. So that was kind of odd. And there it goes. So first time that Teemo attacks Tienzi, he gets him down by quite a large amount of HP. And Teemo, on the other hand, has lost a bit as well, just due to the fact that, you know, those bouncing blades will every once in a while catch onto the enemy. And one good thing to do with the bouncing blades is if you're able to get up there into the back wave minions, if you can throw those on the back wave minions, if the enemy champion is kind of hanging out behind the back wave minions, if you hit them, it'll boop, 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 it'll bounce up to 5 times. So it'll bounce and hit that enemy champion pretty much every time. And that's a good way to get some harass off, rather than just always throwing them at the front wave. And there he goes, boop. So that's going to bounce off. And obviously it's not going to do the full amount of damage possible, because you have to actually run up and hit a W, or you have to auto attack to pop the little blade above the head. But it's free damage for you as Katarina, so I mean, you don't have to use any mana. And that's one thing that really makes Katarina strong in the lane, is the fact that she really doesn't have to go back except for whenever she gets low health. Whereas a lot of other champions have to actually manage their mana. She can spam abilities non-stop. And right now Tienzi does know that he needs to go back. He's pushed the lane just a little bit. It's not going to stay that way for long. Actually, he wants to stay in the lane because there is a cannon creep. Generally, you don't want to go back to base once you see a cannon creep, as that's going to be a lot of experience and potential gold. And so if you're going to go back, the best time to go back is after you've shoved a lane after killing a cannon creep. And now that this Teemo is level 6, he is able to shut down Katarina if she jumps onto one of those shrooms, and that's going to be one of the things you have to watch. I don't know what is going on with the Singe. This is like such a trolly game right now. This is ridiculous. These guys have like some kind of truce going on here. And wow, okay, what the hell? I was not even paying attention, but apparently they decided to go for a kill here. My bad. So TNZ, these guys are distracting me. All this trolling is distracting. So Branchu actually gets caught there, and a pretty simple kill. He actually just throws out a Q and ignites him. Doesn't even go for his ultimate. It doesn't. Oh, yeah, he did go for his ultimate. Why did I miss that? Like, when did I see him go for his ultimate? Oh, I see. Okay. It just didn't do it for the whole duration, so for some reason I didn't see that. Anyways, once again, I was being distracted too much by crazy little Nunu over here. And so this is going to be a ghost. Looks like he wants to go in for the kill. He's like, oh, hell no. He messed with my Teemo. And nice job. He actually blinks to the Singe, which puts him on the other side of him, dodging out a little bit of the poison and flashing out of range of getting flipped. So one of the things you can do with Katarina is you can blink all over the place. You can blink 2 people to kind of get on the other side of them. And that's actually really intelligent what he did. He went to the bush so that he would lose vision. So Singe would have to run all the way up to the bush. And right when Singe was about to get to it, he blinks to the other side. That gives him a lot of range to the opposite side of Singe. And Singe was going to keep on running to that bush, expecting her to keep running this way. And so as he runs this way, she's already over here. And then on top of that, she flashes to avoid getting caught, because since he had Ghost on, he was still going to be able to outrun her. And man, look at that damage potential coming in. Going to take down that Teemo from full HP right away without even having an ignite. I was not expecting that amount of burst, but he obviously knows exactly what he can do with that Katarina. So let's watch that kill once again. That was, I mean, there's pretty much no, there's nothing fancy to it. Literally just walked up to the lane and killed him, like right off. So, like from full HP. There it is. Q, blink, W into an ultimate, and doesn't even matter. Just right up there. Boom. That was pretty nasty. So Tienzi already in a really good position. He grabbed his Sork Boots and Kage's on that first back, and that gave him the ability to completely destroy Teemo, who has no health at all. And that's kind of one of the problems here, is that he decided to go for this blasting wand, and I think that's what killed him there. Is I mean, if he had even had like a Doran's for that extra 80 HP, I think he might have been able to survive that last W. It's possible anyways. Really good thing with Katarina is it's very easy for her to farm wraiths. So once you get a little bit higher level and you're able to start shoving the wave out really far, you'll shove out the wave and then run, grab your race. You can even run and grab their race. It is extremely fast. You don't lose a lot of HP, and you'll get very high farm from doing so. So every time you get a chance, you want to do that. And you know, if not taking the race, you need to be roaming But in this particular case, he's shutting down his Teemo extremely hard already, and so it doesn't require a lot of you know, all the roam at this point. But I imagine as soon as he gets a chance to, he's going to want to roam. Now that the Vlad has actually come down here, it looks like he's going to switch lanes. And so he's going to go ahead and head up here and try and take down this Teemo who swapped to the top lane. But Teemo's like, all right, screw that. I see that he's switching. I'm going to go back to the middle lane. Tienzi will probably see that Lee Sin is coming back up here in a second. I don't know if he's going to be able to take him out. Looks like Lee Sin already does have a little bit of magic resist building up here. And since Tienzi has shoved the lane down, he's probably going to go ahead and head out. And he will be spotted by that mushroom there. Looks like 408 is going to be grabbing that red buff. Red ping going to come down. They know that TNZ is in the area somewhere, and he's actually in a bad situation because these shrooms do spot him coming in, and that's going to be a 1v3 situation if he's not careful. Teemo in a bad spot here as he's going to get dove. I don't know why he wasn't watching. Oh, I see. He was actually trying to bait that out, so he flashes over the wall, trying to get them caught there. Katarina not in a bad position, but it looks like Vlad might be the one that gets caught. TNZ now getting kicked backwards towards the Singe, and there's the slow. Can they actually catch up to him? This is going to be a really bad situation right now. And he uses that W. That's actually a really good play. So one thing about Katarina is that once you hit that W, you get a small speed boost, and that allowed her to run just a little bit faster. He plops down a ward and blinks to it to get away. One good thing about Katarina is the fact that she can blink to both allies and to enemies. So if you always have that extra ward on hand just to use to escape different ganks, that's going to make you much stronger than the average Katarina. So definitely keep that in mind when you go back to base. Grab you a ward and just keep it in your inventory and have it in a quick use slot, so that if you're in one of those situations, you can quickly blink to that and get away. And not only did he blink to it to get away, but he actually put the ward in a decent spot that is going to have good vision. And anytime you get a chance to against all of these lanes, again, use the advantage of that W to give you that extra move speed. And what you can do is you can throw out your Q and then E and then W and then run back before people really have a chance to actually do a lot of return damage to you. He knows that Vitine doesn't have his ultimate kick anymore, so he was able to jump in there and do his full combo. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to do enough damage to kill him before the tower took him down. But nonetheless, he was able to get that kill, and it made him even stronger. So now he's got that blasting one. He's going to be building probably into a death cap. And I'm not sure exactly what Vitine's going to do with his build. I don't know if he's still going to go for a DFG. I know the old Katarina build was to get DFG and a death cap. Now with the nerf to DFG, it might be better to go for death cap. Just get the Kages for the gold per 10, and then hold on to that for the whole game and then like sell it later. I'm not quite sure. I know that it's nice to get a Rylays on Katarina. If you can get a death cap and then a Rylays, you become extremely powerful, not only because you have that extra HP, but the fact that you slow people down is so big. So TNZ coming back to the lane, he wants to actually do a little bit of a lane gank here. He's looking for an opportunity to come up here and try and start a fight. Now that they've actually engaged here, he's going to be in a really good situation to catch up. They're slowed down, and he's going to be able to get the refresh onto his E and go ahead and keep chasing down this Taric. And I don't think he's going to be able to get away. He's going to try and flash over the wall, but he doesn't get there in time. So that's a double kill for TNZ, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. TNZ knows how to roam properly around the map. After taking down the mid lane there, he's like, okay, well, I'm going to come straight back in the lane, and it worked out just perfect because they decided to engage on that, slow them down just enough for him to get in range. And now TNZ is going to be trying to pick up this dragon, but Singe comes in, all man mode here with his ultimate turned on, ready to go. Doesn't have anyone else in the team, but he is trying to stop this dragon from happening, and he's waiting for his team to get in there. Looks like no one's really there, though. Vitine is the only one that is actually in range to do anything, and they actually steal that buff, or steal the dragon. That was a very nice smite still there indeed. Vitine going to try and pick up a kill onto the Nunu, but that, oh man, that ignite just wasn't enough to really do any work. And it looks like they're going to make it out of there with a dragon. So they actually do come out ahead of that one for the most part, since they did get the dragon kill for only one death. Vitine now going to be heading back to the mid, and he can just farm down the minions here, and this is just really easy. Look at all the damage he puts down. He takes a little bit of poke back in return, but the main thing you need to keep in mind when you are engaging on your enemies is, I mean, if you know that you're going to take a little bit of damage in return, you just have to decide, okay, am I going to do more damage to them than they do to me in the trade? And if so, then you always trade with your enemy. Always. If you can always trade more than they can trade to you, then you will always trade. And then especially when you have something like her ultimate, that is going to be the kill shot. And once they get low enough, they're either going to have to back out of the lane or give you a free kill. And that's pretty much all it comes down to. And, you know, the other thing they can do is just avoid last hitting altogether. So it's pretty much win-win for you no matter what happens. Tienzi now has 2 sight wards. You notice, like I said, he's not using those to actually ward up the map. Rather, he's holding on to them to blink to the wards in case of a situation where he has to jump over a wall and get away, or to just, you know, literally just escape into a farther distance. Now, Tienzi's going to be going up to the top lane as the Vladimir has kind of went back towards the middle lane to try and focus down this Lee Sin a little bit more. And right now he's got himself a needlessly large rod, so he's very close to getting that death cap soon. And he continues to take down these creeps extremely fast. He's got a lot of farm right now, if you notice. And Teemo is just hanging out in stealth right here, trying to look for an opportunity to take him down. He's probably going to wait for Tienzi to use a lot of his cooldowns and possibly even step on a shroom, and then he's going to pop out and go for the kill. Either that or he's just afraid of fighting, so he's just going to wait and go ahead and go for more farm once Tienzi leaves the lane. Tienzi's like, okay, I guess Teemo's not here anymore. I'm going to go ahead and leave. And that's exactly what happens. All right, so let's see if he's leveling up everything like I expected. Yep, exactly. So Q first, W second, and E last. And looks like the gank here in the mid lane was not successful as Tienzi was able to roam in here. He does get shoved back by V-Time's kick, so he's not going to be able to get that kill off right away. However, they do come back in here, and the ultimate was kind of baited as V-Time actually flashes over the wall, and Tienzi doesn't really do full damage with it. He's waiting for his cooldowns to come back up. He doesn't want to get in range of anyone to give him a free kill, but if somebody does make the mistake of getting themselves out of position at low health, you probably will jump in there and grab an easy free kill. And here he is, just going to throw out those bouncing blades, getting off a little bit of damage in that fight as much as possible before he backs off to the base. And let's take a look at his gold right now. He's actually got 482, so I'm not even close to getting that death cap. So I think what he wants to do is farm up as much as possible before he heads back to the lane. It's a little bit dangerous for him. He doesn't have any kind of actual sustain just yet, and so I noticed that, okay, so he looked like he was thinking of going top, but he noticed that Teemo got back there, and so he's like, okay, I'm not going to take that risk. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the base and get my health back up before I head back. On the bottom, they actually got a couple of kills off in the meantime. So far in this particular game, it's fairly close right now. Their kills are ahead for blue team, but after the dragon and a little bit of gold, they are actually at 2.5k lead on red side. Teemo doing a little bit of running down here, trying to put down shrooms all over the place, making a big dent and the awareness potential that they have. That shroom was a little bit too close to the turret, so Tienzi is able to easily take that out. Let's see if this Teemo decides to actually engage. Oh, wow, she actually knows that he's there because they have a ward, and she saw him. So he saw him go in there and stand still. That was actually hilarious. This Teemo is completely boned right now. He's just going to have to sit here and die. And there's nothing he can do about it. So that's a free kill for Tienzi. Kind of funny, actually. So Teemo thought he was sneaky, but luckily there was a good ward placement that shuts him down. Alrighty, so good stuff. Looks like Tienzi gonna go ahead and do a little bit of poke onto the Singe, but it might be a little bit of a bad mistake on his part because on his way back he's gonna run into these shrooms, and that's going to take him down. And that's gonna be a nice shutdown for the Singe with the help of Teemo's shrooms. I think Tienzi might have been okay if he had not landed on that shroom and he got in range to blink to one of his minions, or potentially even just put down a ward and blink to that. But since he got hit by that shroom, he was pretty much boned. Alright, so let's go ahead and speed this back up while we're waiting for him to come back. And Tienzi is back in the game. Let's go ahead and check out what... Okay, so still no death cap yet. He actually went ahead and picked up an elixir of fortitude. That's going to help his ultimate and his W do a lot more damage, as well as potentially bait out someone by having just that little bit of extra HP and an engagement. So we'll see how he uses it. I'm going to try my best to keep an eye on when he uses that Elixir of Fortitude. And here we go. He goes ahead and pops out full burst onto this Teemo. Oh, and he is going to land on a shroom. Not going to be able to get in range with another E to pick up the rest of the kill, but that is going to force Teemo to leave the lane. And that's one good thing about TienZ is he can use that ultimate anytime he wants to, and it's on such a short cooldown that by the time, you know, you even have enough health again, it's already back up. And it didn't cost any mana because there's no mana on Katarina. So overall, just really strong. Honestly, if you ever wanted to nerf Katarina, just give her mana, and she is going to have trouble.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
So red team continues to do well in the other lanes down bottom. They continue to kill these guys. Looks like Knife Gun Blue is able to do some work, but I'm going to go back up top because TienZ is actually engaging with this Teemo, and he's a little bit low health, but he blinks backwards to the minion to get away. Teemo does have that flash, but so does TienZ, and he wasn't able to get off enough poison damage to finish her off, but he does have that move quick, and can he get an E back up? Nice job getting that ward just in time as Teemo was about to grab the kill, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Having those wards in place in your inventory makes it possible for you to escape in some of the really sticky situations just like that. TienZ now finally getting his death cap built up and buying yet another ward. He always keeps a stack of wards, and that is just due to the fact that you want to be able to blink away any chance you get. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. So let's move back up here. Speed up a little bit. TienZ going to be roaming around to this fight here, and if he can get in range, it's going to be a nasty kill, but Singed is able to pop his Ghost and get away there. And actually, was that a Shurelya's? Yeah, that was actually Shurelya's, not Ghost. So use his Shurelya's to make his escape. Otherwise, I think TienZ might have been able to get the kill. It's a little bit hard to say, unfortunately, because he is really fast, so he might have been able to just like flip her back or something of that sort, but I don't know. TienZ gonna hit this shroom here, most likely. Boop, coming back into the lane, so Teemo knows that he has a little bit of time to get away, and he can run back to his shroom. He's got a nice little shroom farm set up here, so it's fairly safe for him to stick around, but on the other hand, she can farm this very easily and take down those creeps very fast, so as long as she stays here in the lane, she won't lose that turret too soon. And he just continues to farm up. He's going to get really strong as the game goes on, as he's already got these 6 kills. Death cap is built up, and I'm curious if he's going to go for the DFG next, or if he's going to decide to hit up a Gunblade or possibly a Rylaze. We'll just have to wait and see. He's only got 1 slot left, so we'll see. And let's see, 970 gold. So yeah, he is going to be going for that DFG, it looks like, as he did pick up the Blasting Wand. Now, honestly, you could still go for Rylaze with the Blasting Wand, since that is one of the components, but I imagine that if you were going to go for the Rylaze, he would probably pick up that health first, rather than go for the Blasting Wand. And still, this game is actually very close between the teams, as bottom lane is doing, you know, fairly decent. But 408 looks like he will survive that, unless Katarina can get in range. Nice kick from Vitine, going to stop her from doing the full ultimate combo. And he's going to be safe to sit there and farm. That's going to force TienZ to go back. Once again, as soon as he gets back to the lane, he already has to go back after that engage. That's unfortunate. He's not going to be able to farm a little bit more here. And I think Teemo's going to have a chance to take down this turret if he shoves this fast enough, because I just don't see her getting back in time. Unfortunately, Teemo doesn't see it that way, so instead he actually just roams down bottom. And it looks like Hocho is going to be able to defend that turret. Nice. And Teemo's going to go ahead and ward up here and make it a little bit safer for him to kind of farm this top area as much as possible. He was looking for some wolves, it looks like, but instead he's just going to continue to shroom up every possible entrance, so that if they do come in to try and gank him somewhere in the top lane, he's going to have basically every single entrance warded, and he's going to be good to go. Of course, that shroom does detect the Nunu going down there. Brenchu is going to be up here farming once again, as TienZ is in the lane as well, but he's going to have a lot of trouble. As soon as TienZ sees this Teemo, he's going to have to probably back off, because, yeah, I don't know if he knew that 408 was there. He probably could have engaged on Teemo and got a kill there, but it is a little bit risky without knowing where that Singed is. And honestly, if I'm watching just TienZ, I know it's already 23 minutes in, but I should probably just give you a vision of what he sees, because obviously a lot of the decisions he makes is going to be determined based on his particular vision. And so any chance he gets, he's using that to farm creeps in the jungle. He's like, okay, well, these lanes are always pushed, and I don't want to go back all the way up there to farm, as it's not really safe. Vitine actually coming in here to try and get a kill on Hacho, and I don't know if he's going to make that happen or not. I'm not sure if bottom lane is even paying attention at this point. as this knife gun blue guy, he's a little bit low to actually try and do an engage onto him. Looks like the arrow is going to miss from that Ashe, not giving him a chance to get a kill. Now that Singed has popped up, that means that Tienzi is safe to go for the kill onto this Teemo. Even though he got hit by that shroom, he might be able to get a kill here. Magi Soul Stealer, kind of an odd item choice for Teemo. He doesn't, I don't see any stacks of that as of yet. Tienzi doing his best to just sit here and farm. He wants to get in range and throw out that little dart. And there goes the full engage and ignite. That is a complete 100 to 0 kill for Tienzi. Even though Tienzi wasn't full health, he just barely survives that a little bit. And it looks like he's putting himself in kind of a scary situation if he gets caught by this Singed, but Singed is not going to find him before he's able to back out. And he's good to go. Bam. That was just in time before 408 got there. So, okay, I guess he is going to be going for the Rileys. So he, instead of going for the health, he decided to opt for just as much damage as possible. And so that's looking good here. He's going to have that Rileys, and I think, what is it, like 1,200 gold or something like that? He's actually got 90, so not too long at all. And he's going to have that Rileys. I think it's like 1,400 after you get the tome. I can't remember exactly. But anyways, we'll see. So he is level 16. Oops, holy crap. What did I just do? I just like backed all the way up. Let me go back to live. Okay, there you go. So anyways, he's got himself on the bottom lane here. He's looking for an opportunity to pick up a kill somewhere. He didn't see that happen. It looks like an arrow's gonna come in, gonna completely whiff everybody. And he's just continuing to run in here, look for opportunities to get a gank off. And instead it decides to back off. I'm not sure why he's not just running to a lane, but okay, so that's what we're doing, and he's still. I didn't actually see when he popped his. Oh, I bet you whenever he was fighting that Teemo, that's when he popped it. I think that's when he did. So he used that that red elixir to fight that Teemo. He used his low HP to bait that Teemo into kind of hanging around there and trying to fight him, and instead he was able to get that kill with that red elixir. And I think that's exactly what saved him in that last fight there. So pretty interesting. Nice plays. And this is just kind of what separates Tienzi from a lot of the other Katarinas. The ability of him using those. Oh, wow. He actually went for a Void Staff. So I was wrong in both cases. He didn't go for DFG or a Rileys. Instead, a Void Staff to kind of take down all of the magic resist that the enemy team has. And that's a good point. So let's take a look. So Teemo does have a Negatron Cloak. There's a Hex Shrinker. And Singed just gets passive magic resist from his ult. And yeah, so I don't know, I guess it makes sense. He wants to be able to destroy all of the tanky people as fast as possible. He's able to clean up that Misfortune extremely fast, get the refresh, and then go on to the Singed. And as soon as his blink comes back up, he might be able to get the kill. I don't know if he can do it. And there it is. He uses the flash to go in there, finish him up with the W. Tienzi has that double kill there. And this is going to be a bad situation for Muff and Cutie if he... Oh, yep. Looks like the Knight is able to take him down. And Tienzi going in here. Every chance he gets, he's going to use those cooldowns. And he just continues to blink out with that W. Oh my god. And just barely before that Ashe is able to go down, Vtine dies to one last W from Tienzi. That blue buff is so critical on Katarina to be able to refresh her cooldowns.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
And right now he's sitting really pretty at 10 kills, only 2 deaths, Death Cap, Void Staff, and let's see what is the next item choice for him as he's got 1,400 gold at this point. Will he be going for the DFG? Will he pick up some health? I don't know. There's so many options that you can do on Katarina. She's got like just so many build options. So Blasting Wand being picked up. Could be a DFG this time. Possibly. I don't know. We'll see. And it looks like he's no longer buying wards anymore. I guess that's more of like an early game thing for him. He doesn't really worry about having those wards later on, as he's strong enough right now to pretty much just fight anyone if he does get into that situation. I'm not sure if that's what his reasoning is or not, as he definitely has enough money for wards, but possibly just trying to, as fast as possible, buy the items that he needs to get to the next item choice. So I'm going to go ahead and speed it up just a bit until the next bit of action happens. And he's going to be going back after doing all that. So, yep, DFG it is for TiensiNoAkuma. And now he finally picks up a ward, now that he has picked up that item. So, yes, I think I was correct. He was actually not buying ward just because he wanted that. And there's the DFG into the full old combo. Does get exhausted, but still enough damage. And the refresh happens. He does get shut down, unfortunately, as he's basically in the middle of everyone. But he puts out so much damage that it looks like his team's going to be able to clean this up no problem. 408 pretty much screwed there. Doesn't have any chance to get away. He's completely slowed down. There's there's so much slow on their team. So I guess in one way of looking at it, he basically doesn't need Ryleys in this particular team comp due to the fact that he basically has all of these other slows from the rest of his team. I hate Afro, let it be known. That's interesting. Is Afro streaming on a Smurf? I don't know. I don't know everybody's Smurfs, so I can't really say. So lovable that I hate him. Interesting. Oh my god, Teemo goes down. Too bad, too bad. Okay, it looks like TienZ is back up. Let's go ahead and speed it up. So I can't speed it up anymore because the game is back to live mode here. And TienZ now picking up a Chain Bash. Probably going to be going for either a Zhonya's or a Guardian Angel here very soon. And I'm not sure exactly which one. Like I said, I've been playing a lot of Katarina lately, and I've picked up Guardian Angels on her, but I'm not sure if it's necessarily as good as just going for a Zhonya's, but we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, pretty much all you do on Katarina is wait for your cooldowns to come back up, and Zhonya's is a way for you to get your cooldowns back up, but same time, that's also what a GA does, is it gives you even more time for your cooldowns to come back up. So I think both items are strong. In this particular case, it's going to be a Zhonya's doing more damage, whereas GA is just a little bit tankier. And I think TienZ probably just wants to do a lot of damage, so I imagine that's exactly what he's going to go for as soon as he gets enough money to pick that up. But we'll have to wait and see. I've also done Warmogs on Katarina just for funsies. It's not necessarily the right item to do, but kind of hilarious in low-level games. So let's see. I can't speed the game up again. Like I said, I'm just waiting for them to fight again. They are in a pretty good situation, even though they're still behind. They're 4 kills ahead, but still 4,000 gold behind. I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know if it's like from farm or if it's from them picking up like dragons all over the place, but it looks like he's going to be running into a Terra carry. He's going for the DFG. He wants to pick up the kill, and Shirelli is being popped off, but he's still able to get in range. Stun goes down. He's not going to be able to continue chasing that any longer, and heal comes down, and a Shroom from the Teemo. He's going to land on that, but it looks like his team is able to jump in there and almost clean that up. Terra gets away, luckily for red team, but that's not going to help them out in this team fight as TienZ gets in there. Muffin Cutie cleans up the kill there. A lot of damage coming in as he's able to get all the refreshes off. 2 more kills from TienZ, and that is the amazing thing about Katarina is once you start getting those kills, you get those refresh, you can blink all over the place, hit that W consistently, and just continue to blow people up all over the place. They're going to go ahead and go for a kill onto this turret here. Let's see if they can get that before Singe comes in. And I think Singe is going to play it safe. He's got all 5 people here to can deal with. And that's just going to be an easy turret for them. They're going to continue shoving it down here as they got several people down for at least another 30 seconds. And yes, with Misfortune up, that is going to be something they have to watch out for. I don't know what this is doing. Turret takes down Hacho. It's not going to be a kill for anyone, unfortunately, but Knifecon Blue uses his Zhonya's to block a little bit of that damage. Nice ultimate from the Lulu. Keeps him alive just long enough. They're able to take down the turret, so they're safe to jump back here. TienZ gets to refresh, able to clean that up, and DFG not able to finish off Singe, unfortunately, so he's able to walk out of there. Poison takes down 408. That is just terrible. They are so low right now. They need to get the hell out of there, and there's the Shirelias, and they run back. Kind of nice job there, though. They were able to take down all of those turrets, almost taking down the inhibitor, and several kills as well on top of that. And only 1 kill. They didn't even kill that Hacho guy. Hacho died to the turret, so it wasn't really even a benefit. Oh my god! They decided to go for the kill there onto the Teemo. Teemo gets 1 kill because they were so low, but TienZ picks it up. So even more kills for him. And let's take a look at what he's going to buy here. He's got enough gold to pretty much pick up whatever he wants. He's got 2,100 sitting in the bank. And this is very nice. This champ is so cute. Very interesting. So it looks like he doesn't play a lot of Teemo, obviously. TienZ not picking up anything just yet, so I imagine... Oh, there it is. So needs the large rod, and I was right on one of my... Yeah, so he's going to go for these Zhonya's. Going to go for as much damage as possible, and the Zhonya is going to help out significantly if he gets in the middle of the team, pops off a couple of his abilities, and wants to survive just long enough for his cooldown to come back up. Let's see how he does here. Looks like the enemy team is kind of spotted over the wall there, and they weren't able to steal that blue from Hacho. One cool thing about the about having a mid like Katarina is that you don't need blue buffs to sustain yourself in the lane. This does a few things. This gives your jungler the ability to roam around more without having to come and give you that blue every time it's up. Also gives him the chance to actually get the blue himself. And so for junglers that actually require that blue to be a little bit stronger, it's actually really nice, really nice for a lot of junglers to be able to pick up that blue. It's a lot stronger than you might imagine. So So it really helps your teammates just for the fact that you don't have mana. It's really strong. I think that's almost a little OP in my opinion, champions that don't have mana. The fact that they can do things like not really require that blue buff. And it looks like they ninja'd a Baron there before anyone is able to respond to that. Tienzi gonna stand over the wall and look for an opportunity to throw out those blades and maybe jump to somebody who's in a bad situation, but now he's in a bad spot as he can't even jump to anyone. And it looks like Gun Blue goes down. This is gonna be really bad if they get not only the Baron but several kills. Hotshell's gonna go down. He can't do anything but pop his ultimate to try and do a little bit of damage. Not even doing so much at all actually. And a nice job of them poking this down as much as they can with the situation at hand that they see here. But 4-White's not really worried about it. He's going to have that regen from his ultimate and from that Baron buff, so he's going to be good to go here. And that put them in a really bad spot as they're now about 5,000 gold behind as well with a Baron buff on the enemy team. We'll see if they can survive this much longer. 408 trying to come in there and get a nice blink off, or sorry, a nice flip off, which would have probably given his team a chance to pick up a couple of kills. So despite how far ahead TiensiNoAkuma is, the rest of his team is really just kind of mediocre at this point in comparison, especially with Miss Fortune getting 9 kills. She's really strong right now. She's basically fully built. She's got a ton of damage right now, and they're going to have to deal with that. Definitely not something that's going to go down easy, as Ashe looks like she's going to go for she's going to be getting her Last Whisper soon, but she is not anywhere near as close to it as she would like to be. What's the best cat skin? You know, I'll actually answer that. I think the best cat skin is Bilgewater. Looks good. I like that one. I like the Sandstorm one just because she has those weird blades. I think that one's pretty cool. Bilgewater definitely does look nice though. It's got a nice little lumpiness to it. I don't know how to say that. And look here, we got some pretty much, they're regrouping here. They're trying to do their best to not get caught again. I imagine that if they do, at this point, it's going to be a really bad situation. Of course, Knife Gun Blue going to be going for this dragon. He can solo that no problem. They do need to be careful. They don't have any wards, so they don't know where the enemy team is. They know that Teemo's top, but that's about it, and they have the rest of them here. So I think they're going to be safe for the most part. Red team was actually coming back from the base after buying, so I guess they're good to go for now. Little Brontosaurus, he's got this Oracles, but can they catch him? Are they ready to actually stand in the bush and make a play happen here? They do actually have a ward, and the arrow is going to whip. That's going to put them in a bad situation if they decide to engage here, as that Teemo could come in very soon. But here comes Knife Gun Blue with that ghost. He's wanting to get in there and make a kill happen, but it's a little bit bad play on his part. He's going to get kicked into a bad situation and gets completely destroyed. So extremely bad play on his part, if you ask me. Tienzi going to go for a kill there. Actually almost able to get it using that zombies to try and stay alive a little bit longer. Gets that blink off again, and not enough though to actually pick up a kill. Double kill happening from that Misfortune. She's in a really good position at this point, and even Tienzi having trouble actually carrying this game. Now V-Time get a flash over the wall onto that Ashe and pick up the kill. Oh, actually it's Misfortune that gets another one. So she's actually at 12 kills, going to be catching up soon to Tienzi's kill count, and that's going to put them in a really scary situation as she is beasting right now. Actually has so much farm right now. So I don't know if they can actually win this game right now unless they stop making these bad plays. Knife Gun Blue put his team in a really bad situation after doing such a retarded, play there, trying to get that kill that there was just no way that could have happened. I don't know what he was thinking, but either way, this is going to be an inhibitor down, and that's going to put them in a situation where they can continue shoving down all of the lanes. And unless Red Team really makes a mistake soon, I think Blue's in a really bad situation. V-Time trying to do his best to poke down this Nunu, and might actually kill Muffin Cutie now as he got himself caught. V-Time grabs that kill, no problem with his team, and close pursuit behind. Misfortune still really strong. They still have that Baron buff for just a little bit longer. It's about to wear off. They did so much work while that Baron buff was active, and that could have potentially won the game for them. So the thing about this is that Blue Team still sees that their kills are ahead, so they think they're stronger than them, and they're able to, and they run in and they do all these plays and stuff. But what's really the case is that they've been behind the entire game. Regardless of the kills, they've been behind in gold the whole game. So Red Team has always been stronger. And I don't think that they realize that. Another arrow misses. I think she's missed like the last 3 or 4 arrows. Unfortunately, just Ashe can be a really strong champion if those arrows are able to land on the right targets, but when they don't land, Ashe just really falls behind pretty much every other carry unless she's able to effectively kite out champions, and that's not exactly what they're doing. They're going full on engage in these team fights. They're not going for kites and poke. they're going for full-on engage. And for full-on engage to work when you have an Ashe, you have to land arrows. She's not landing them. And not only that, but Knife Gun Blue is going balls deep into team fights that he's just not strong enough to do that in. At this point, it looks like Tienzi is actually going to be going for a GA after he's already got that Zanya, so he's going to make it even harder to take him down. So the two Zanyas on the team. Muffy Cutie now going to be getting caught, going to use his ultimate to try and stay alive as much as possible, see if they can do some damage. And Silent King picks up the kill with that Misfortune ultimate. V-Time getting a nice Q, lands that, but not before getting shut down. Ashe going to be stuck out of the fight now as that Ignite takes him down. Triple kill for the Misfortune. Nice job. Actually, I think it was a red buff that killed him. And so that could have been the case. I'm not sure. She has that Guardian Angel. And I think that's pretty much good game if they are able to finish off Gun Blue here. Gun Blue going to be stuck in a bad situation. Yeah, all he needs is one more auto attack and boom, there he goes. Silent King now sitting at 16 kills with the Guardian Angel. And he's really strong at this point. That's going to be an easy game finisher there as they got 30 seconds left to clean up the rest of these turrets against a Nunu who cannot really do any damage. All he can do is try and force him to take turret hits. But once those turrets are down, there's nothing left for him to do. And that's going to be a free kill for them. Oh, nice job. He actually got the Banshee's Veil up just when that stun came.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
But that's going to be GG. We saw some really good Katarina play there, and hopefully you learned something from this video watching Tienzi, one of the best Katarina players in the game, play. And unfortunately, it wasn't enough to carry this game as his team was just too far behind. But overall, I think he did a great job, and it's a great, you know, basically a great look into some top-level Katarina play. But I'll see you guys around for the next one. Thanks for watching this pro game video. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. I've done a lot of pro game commentaries, so please let me know what you think of this style of commentary, if this is something you'd like to see more, or if you want to, or if you would like to just see the actual pro game commentaries where I do everything, or if you want to see both. Yeah, just let me know in the comments below what you thought. I'll see you around for the next one. Peace out.